Welcome back for the final episode of Skeleton Crew, but hopefully not the final episode of this podcast. I'm Derek.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Whitney.
And this week, it's the real good guys. Hey, we're back.
Oh, I kicked my webcam a little bit, didn't I?
There, I did all that for you, Jack.
Thank you. Look at that. What we got here. So we got a land speeder. We have a Star Destroyer. And we have a Lobot / KB modification on Judge Reinhold.
Yes, we do.
Runaway speeder. A Star Wars story. PG, that's smart too, because now we can get the little kids to watch this piece of shit.
I was gonna do like a TIE fighter, but it was really hard to Photoshop out the helicopter, and the Star Destroyer covered the whole helicopter. So
perfect. Now, if anybody here is listening and not watching, this is a glowing testament of why you need to be watching.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Not looking at us, but at the pictures that he drops up.
Yeah, physical gags.
I spent so much time on this stupid thing.
You really did. Was it last night or
that was today?
Morning? It was today.
I was finishing it up right before we left, and then right before we got on, I added in a Star Wars story. I was gonna change it to Darth Reinhold, but I didn't have time for that.
Inquisitor. They kind of feel like judges.
Inquisitor Reinhold. Your lack of faith is disturbing.
That's so good, dude. We had a really Emperor line in this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
which one?
I can't. It was. I'll be watching your career with great interest.
Oh,
it's from the very end of episode 1 when he meets little young Annie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he straight up uses a line from Hook in this movie.
Okay,
in this episode, I mean, we'll get there. I have it written down here, but it might be a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure that's where they're getting it from. But this is the final episode of Skeleton Crew Season 1. Hopefully.
Season finale, maybe series finale. I really fucking hope not.
I hope not, dude. Big.
Well, it's so far, I mean, so we talked about it a little off camera, but so far, like, the numbers that have been put out are only for the first 7 days, and they are not good. I mean, to me, 345 million streaming minutes or hours or whatever sounds pretty fucking good.
I think that's pretty good.
But it's 5 million less than Book of Boba Fett and like 104 million less than Acolyte, and neither of those are coming back. So, but we don't know the later numbers yet.
It's too early to be told. We talked about this again off camera or off air. It's been received really well. Whether those numbers match up with what Disney wants is between here and there, but it has been received well on the toxic lakes of Reddit, YouTube, all those, predominantly positive. Sure, there's people out there that still do not like it because they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of diehard Star Wars fans that are
our fans is great.
Star fans.
I like it.
Just completely boycotting anything that Disney is putting out.
Yeah. And rightfully so, because, sorry, Derek, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I get it because I've had my heart broken by a media before. And so that's where these people are sitting. Their heart's been broken by what they've been given. And good on them is they're doing what we always say is just don't watch. Instead of getting on the message to the people that we know, not the everyday Reddit user. They're at home not saying anything about Acolyte because they just didn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It's disappointing. I think this show's really good, and I think people should watch it. I've had a few people tell me, like, oh, I haven't bothered yet. And I'm like, well, you should check it out. Like, and I've even talked to people who are interested, but they're just like, yeah, I'll get around to it. I'm like, well, but if you just get around to it, then it gets canceled. Because they need shit right now.
And
Yep.
and you know what? Fuck them for that. Honestly, like I'm
Disney?
a binge person.
Fuck Disney or
Yeah.
fuck those people?
I'm a binge person.
Yeah.
I want to be able to watch everything all at once. Like Amazon and Netflix puts all that shit out all at once. And it's not this week to week bullshit. I think that's what's fucking killing them.
I'm gonna fight back on this. I fucking love the week to week. I'm about to be a little bit depressed for the next couple weeks because I've enjoyed
True.
Tuesday. I wake up like a goddamn Disney princess, dude. Just birds whistling, sun is fucking up. I'm like, it's Star Wars Day. It's a new Star Wars Day.
It's
Wow.
Rose Banning Day.
Next Tuesday is gonna be nothing but just fucking beer and chronic masturbation.
I'll
Thanks a
send
lot,
you titties
Disney.
of other people's.
Well, we got a concert to go to next Tuesday, so you can
Ooh,
look
I
forward
do.
to
I am excited for that.
that.
But yeah,
And it's kind of like Star Wars because it's atmosphere. And Sage Francis sounds like a Star Wars character.
I'm not wearing my Brother Ali Yoda shirt. I'm wearing Swigfoot today.
Shout out to Ty.
Check
Can't
out
see it.
Swigfoot.
Do that though.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about this one, which is directed by, of course, John Watts and written by John Watts and Chris Ford because it's the last one. So he's got to do the first and last one.
Yeah. He's the bread.
And it does start with just the menacing lightsaber sound. You're like, oh, someone's getting chopped up. But no, he does this thing where he's like pretending to be the emissary. He's playing the role of the emissary.
Yep.
He's like, look at my cool lightsaber. I'm a Jedi.
Look what I can do. That's not actually that cool. It's just a kid with a toy. It's what we called in the episode last episode. Yeah. We called it like he's not good with it. He just has it and he wants to be menacing. But here he's not, he's trying not to be menacing with the parents and the kids. He's trying to be like, look, I really am an emissary. I am an expert. Load up my ship, let my other ship in.
I sent you that article that was someone talking about how they were like studying his lightsaber form and stuff. Because, I mean, we do find out in this, he did have a little bit of training, but very little bit.
So it's
Yes.
after Order 66, right?
Correct.
Yes, this is definitely after that, yeah.
So he was found after that.
I think he was found before that because he says then
No,
they
sh-
came looking for her and they killed her.
I
So
don't.
think that was during Order 66.
I think Wife Person has it right. I think we had a Jedi running from Order 66 that found him
And
knew that he was going to have a rough kind of go of life. So taught him what she could until the Inquisitors or whoever found and killed her and made him watch.
That's what I got from the story.
That's how I took
Okay.
it as well, because he would have been a little bit older. But I think whoever his, I don't want to say Jedi master, but whoever this Jedi, the female is that found him knew like, hey, I got to teach him something, man. Because as soon as they find him, they're going to be all over him.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
So,
sense.
That's
But
just how I
basically-
took it, which makes
Yeah.
sense why he never built a lightsaber. It makes sense why he's like, I can kind of force push, I can force levitate. That's about it.
He knows the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before she
yeah.
was brutally murdered in front of his eyes.
Oh, oof. That'll turn you cynical.
So he's like, okay, well, security droids, take everybody to their quarters and watch them and report their behavior to me because he doesn't want these kids giving up the game here
Yeah.
early on. But he keeps Fern and Carrie Condon behind to go meet the supervisor.
I was super excited when they said we're going to see the supervisor. I was like, we are. And
And you called it, dude.
well, we called a lot. That's
Yeah.
the thing. We called a lot. It is one of our
Look,
very
if you throw
early.
all
It was
the
one of our
theories, if you
theories.
throw all the theories out, you'll be right.
Yep. You have to be. But no, it is one of the early ones that we called about it being just droid program and stuff. And I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit different. Like that Carrie Condon was going to be shocked. Like the people of At Attin thought the supervisor was real, but she's like, no, it's a droid. It's always been a droid dictated by the great work.
Yeah.
So
And when they go in there too, I mean, before they see it, and we're jumping ahead a little bit, but it's fine. You see Jod like brushing his hand along the back
Inch
of those
thick
seats.
of
and-
dust.
yeah, it's so much dust.
I mean, like at some point there were people here. I don't know.
Yeah. When they
Um,
first started, there had to be people manning everything, right? And then just get the droids to do programs how they wanted them programmed.
I guess.
Yeah, before they went into like full lockdown,
Yeah.
I would think. they got it all running smoothly, and then they just left the droid to keep it running.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Set it up, make
what
sure it
people
works,
do.
proof of concept. See ya.
So we have Wim and Wendell at their house, and they're getting into a little bit of an
Wendell.
argument. I like that Wendell's like, home cooked meal. I'm like, we just saw that in a microwave, dude.
This is the single dad special. This is the equivalent of Tim Allen in the Santa Claus burning the turkey and taking his kid to Denny's. Nothing like a home cooked Denny's meal, son. Tastes like I'm getting diarrhea. Ho, 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 ho.
Ho ho ho.
Why do I sound like Jabba the Hutt when I do it?
It's the right podcast for it, Whitney. If you're gonna ever sound like Jabba the Hutt, this is
I think I
when
hang
you
out
do
with you
it.
too much.
To be fair,
Never.
Tim Allen and Jabba the Hutt are not that different.
No, both ran spice. You know the difference? Jabba don't snitch.
Oh.
But I like when Wendell's getting mad. He's like, "What, you think I didn't want to run off and hang out with some Jedi?" And that's when Wim's like almost fucks up. He's like, "He's not," and the robot's like, "What's that?"
I like the
What's that now?
robot, by the way, is just very physically following each person talking. Like, whoop,
Yes.
Wim's dad. Yep, Wim's dad. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. Whoop, whoop.
Well,
It
he's
was-
got
it
the
was-
camera.
I know you take a further step back, you can see them both in panoramic, dude. You're making work for yourself you don't need.
Well, like Wim calls Neil on his little walkie-talkie and gets busted by the droid.
What are you doing?
And I like it. He's
I
like,
love
all communications will be reported. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not. I'm a little toilet."
I'm a little toilet.
Toy.
I'm a little boy. Look at this. I'm just fighting. I lost my arm. Oh no.
I'm Fern and I'm Neil.
How long were you there? Not long enough to see you make your Fern doll kiss your doll, sir.
But yeah, then back at the supervisor's office, like we talked about, it's this giant fucking like he calls it a droid. I was like, okay, so it's a machine. I guess it's still technically a droid. I just don't associate them this big with being a droid.
It's a brain. It is, I mean, just a big yeah, it does have the
Definitely a
arms
brain.
and stuff, but it's just a big fucking brain droid.
Yeah. I like when he's trying to impress Carrie Condon. He's like, I'm a Jedi and an emissary, and he like just picks up his hand and floats his lightsaber. He's like, see? Pretty fucking cool, huh?
Mhm. Does that do anything for you?
Turns me on.
Did you see that one, by the way? Did you want to go out later after seeing that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
When Fern
I would
calls him
too.
out. She's like, it's a trick.
It's a
Like, shut
trick.
the fuck up.
It's a trap.
I like the fucking droids going along with everything until he's like, but just clarify one thing for me. The last thing that we heard from the Republic is that the Jedi are traitors. So are you lying about being a Jedi or an emissary?
Yeah.
It lets us know that this was at least in communication. Well, it could hear the Republic speaking. It may not be able to speak to the Republic. We don't know how long it's been since somebody's been here.
Well,
but we know-
it's been at least 25 years, if I'm doing the quick math in my head right, since they had any communication. Because
Where'd you get
this-
that number? Just out of curiosity.
because this is 9 BBY. Wait, 27 years? Because this is 9 BBY.
So 9 plus
and-
19.
And then Luke was 18 or 19.
Okay.
And then that happened right after Order 66 was when Luke was born. So 27 years.
Yeah.
Because that's the last communication they got, and that was Order 66. Like, hey, the Jedi are all traitors. Fucking kill
Yeah.
them all. So
I just wonder
I
how
talk
long
like-
it's been since they've had like that. Was that the last? How long before they'd heard from the Republic before that? Like, was somebody coming in checking on them?
I don't think
okay.
they had the barrier up until after the order. I think that's why they put the barrier up. I think that's why shit got.
I guess
like,
here's
other
the-
planets were getting hit, and they're like, "Fucking lock this bitch up."
I guess here's the question. I'll pose it this way: do you think Palpatine knew about this planet? Do you think he had access to these credits?
no, because that's the other thing is these are Old Republic credits. So
Right.
I think they've had the barrier up longer, but they were still receiving communications from the Republic. And once Palpatine took over, the Empire didn't have the means to know to communicate with them, or even that they still existed. Is what I'm
Okay. I like that
positing. Yeah,
because I mean he would have had even a bigger military than he already had.
yeah. But so Fern rats him out, and he jams that lightsaber right into the supervisor's big eye. And luckily for him, it works.
What? That's what I would have done, honestly.
Well, this giant computer, though, I'm like, he stuck it in there, and I was like, watch this thing still work. Like,
I was expecting a backup plan. I did not expect it to work this smoothly, this fast.
Yeah. But I guess, again, they've got the barrier, so they don't expect anybody who's there to be.
Yeah, we see, because just to get to fast forward a little bit, once they do penetrate the shield, it's done. You're fucked. They just do not have the security. These droids all have non-lethals, by the way.
Yeah, that's all stuns, right?
It's all stuns. So
the only security they have is the giant gun, and no one knows about that but Neil.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
bless Neil.
He gets to use it.
He does. We called that too, which, I mean, obviously, right? But so yeah, the power goes out, the droids go down. He goes to shut down the barrier, and Kerry Condon's like, dude, don't do that. It'll fuck our whole planet. Like, I'll let your ship through if you just promise not to kill my kid and fuck us all over. And he's like, fingers crossed behind his back, I promise.
Well, I think
why did they have to?
She thinks, this is just me guessing, she thinks that if she helps him out, they'll take their fucking share of gold and they're gone.
Because that's what he says, but.
Oh, he does say that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's like, cool, let's do that. We have plenty of fucking money. Take whatever you need. It's like, no, I want you guys to work for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking search for treasure. I'm going to make it.
That's his downfall, because he has 1,139 vaults full of gold.
Yeah.
Just take that and leave, and you've got more Old Republic credits than you could ever possibly spend.
Yeah. Like, just if you filled this dragon sickness or whatever we're going to call it, really.
Yeah.
Greed. I call it greed.
Dragon sickness is funner.
But he does call the ship, and he's like, hey, begin the invasion. And they don't cut to Kerry Condon sitting there, but I wanted to cut to her and just have her be like, fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
My kid was right. I should listen to my goddamn kid once in a while.
And
hey, moral of the story.
And Wendell, Wim's dad.
Yeah.
Dude, he really annoyed me through this whole thing. Like, Wim's just trying to be like, Dad, look, and knocks down the fucking droid. He's like, it's all a trap. This is really what's going on. And he's like, well, no, we need to go to safety and
trying to use his car.
I'm gonna fire back again. I actually liked Wendell here because yes, he is doing that. Sorry,
that
like
first part where
indoctrinated.
he's just not listening is what was pissing me off.
He's an indoctrinated At Attin citizen. But fast forwarding, as we always do here, when he's like helping him out, I was having a good, genuine, fun time with him.
Yeah, I loved it because, like, well, first I want to mention he doesn't say that he's like John's a bad guy, but he's like, they're here to get us, which is such a kid thing.
Yeah,
like, they're not they're here to kill us. They're here to rob us. They're here to like take us prison. They're gonna get us. But yeah, like the frigate comes down and starts attacking everybody. Neil and KB show up on their hover bikes, and so those two and Wim go off, and then the Wendell takes the hover bike from that punk ass kid from episode 1.
Yeah, looked like whatever that kid's name is that played the Flash that's canceled.
Yeah,
Ezra Miller.
I was like, which Flash that's canceled?
No, the kid got canceled.
Oh, the kid got canceled. Got it.
Yeah, they've all been canceled. It's fucking DC, man.
But I just love it because he starts chasing them, and like he's trying to stop them, but pretty quickly just joins in with them because they're all being fired at, right?
Yeah.
And they have to do the like,
and he's like, "Oh shit, you're not lying."
Yeah, they have to do the like, we'll take a shortcut. They go down that one alley that Fern and KB went through in the earlier part, and Wim.
And Wim. Mm-hmm. But Wim didn't give it the throttle, and KB's like, just give it full throttle, put it down.
Well, and KB's plan is, by the way, to get the ship, get outside the barrier, and call Kimima for help.
Yes,
because the real good guys.
Yeah, well, because Kim said, and we just rewatched most of the series right before this. We ran out of time, but it's when Kim is like, "Hey, if there's ever a problem, remember to call me."
Yeah.
And then in the previously on, it's showing that, and I was like, oh, well, I knew after watching it today, I was like, oh yeah, she's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Barley had her back.
But yeah, the pirates are rounding everybody up. They take the shortcut. They do gun it and jump the ravine. I do like that Wendell is like, but I'm heavier than you guys.
Just trust KB.
Yeah, women
trust KB. This is the moral of this story, dude. Is like these kids can do more. It's very much like all the other ones that they're
It's kid
pulling
power.
from. Yeah, it's kid power, but it's actually done well. We've seen kid power go very
Suck.
poorly on this podcast.
Very
Yeah.
poorly.
Well, not this
Um,
one.
Well, not
But-
this one. Sorry, our sister podcast.
Actually, that's
our
not
Big
true.
Brother
We watched episode 1, so.
podcast. What are you talking about? That shit was wizard.
So wizard.
So,
But I do
wizard.
love when they land from the jump and the dad's like, "Holy shit, did you guys see that? That was fucking awesome."
Yeah.
This is where I
That's-
start to really love him.
Same.
Yeah.
It's just that one part where it's that fucking trope. You never trust or listen to your kid. And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, and this is an extremely sheltered community, so it's like extra,
guess.
like you don't know what you're doing.
I wasn't
I'm in a
sheltered at
system.
all.
I'm in a system. My parents were in a system. My grandparents, you'll be in a system. The
Slavery?
Athorium with its frog dog will all be in the same. We're in a system at some point.
Dude, that thing barking is terrifying.
Do you know what's super funny? Those are sentient. They just often want to be a pet so they can have an easy life.
Wouldn't you want to be a pet?
So, well, it depends on what size shoe does she wear.
Let's just say it's a certain person from a certain place that we were
10 and a
just
half
at.
wide is what she wears.
This is too inside joke. No one's gonna get this.
But so they're running away. Neil gets blasted off the bike. He's like, "Just go without me, guys. I've got
Neil!
a fucking plan."
Oh,
Well, he had to, right? Because
The
otherwise
way
he
he
wouldn't have
rolls
thought of
away.
his plan.
I'm just like, get it, Neil.
Yeah, he's still on the ground while the ships are flying by and they don't see him, so he just rolls out. Like-
Roll out.
Niels, assemble. His whole family comes running out of the fucking ditches. I would love to see them like get on each other's fucking shoulders and start. Okay, real quick segue. I'm not going to play it because it's not my style of game, and neither will Derek. And Whitney doesn't play that many video games unless you can have sex with the whole party. There's a Star Wars game coming out called Star Wars Hunters, where it's very like Overwatch, where you pick a hero and just play a bunch of people, right? It's all multiplayer. One of the characters is two Jawas standing on each other's shoulders, and that makes me or one standing on the other's shoulders, rather, and that makes me almost want to fucking play it. That's the Star Wars equivalent of fucking 3 kids in a trench coat buying a ticket to a rated R movie, except
really
they're fighting
is.
to the death.
If it's on Game Pass, I'll try it out just to play the Jawa double Jawa.
You know what,
character.
dude? Maybe we'll get it and just do private matches.
You guys just play each other.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
so
Well, we
he
get
goes
you a
off
stick.
because he goes off because he's like, the ship needs cover, so we know what's coming there.
Mm-hmm.
They get to the ship, they're trying to take off, but the docking clamps are still engaged. I was thinking about this when they were getting there, and I was like, okay, one of two things: either it's an obstacle, which makes more sense, which is what it is, or the power going out deactivated the clamps,
Yeah.
and it's not that, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, no, you had to shoot the power out in order for it to unlock the clamps.
I just thought
Well,
it
you
was
have to
funny
shoot it
'cause-
to lock it too sometimes.
yeah.
I just thought it was funny because the dad's like, we have to turn the power back on to get the clamps off. And he's like, I don't know how to do that. And I was waiting for Wim to just be like, hit it with a fucking wrench.
I've
No,
seen KB
Wim
do this
has-
1,000 times, dude. Wappa, wappa, wappa.
Wim asked him, do you know how to do that? And Wendell gets like puffy. I'm
You
a
are
level
talking to a
7.
level 7 Pimp Master Plus.
Well, yeah, that's right after that, though. That's
Okay.
why I was waiting for the first thing Wim to say, be like, hit it with a wrench.
Yeah, hit it with the wrench would have been great, dude. Punching up scripts
I-
over here.
I was waiting for that too.
But so Fern is telling her mom up in the tower about how, like, they went to a lot of places, a lot of scary shit happened, but everywhere they went,
There was good people.
they found good people. And I was about to say except for Tortuga, but there was that one prostitute lady that
Yeah,
tried to save them.
the
So.
Mira Luca. I don't know. I'd take a Luca.
Oh.
Green chicks do
Um,
it for me, I guess. I don't know.
But Wim shows up in the elevator by himself,
Mm-hmm.
and like the pirate, the one that you think is
Is it
fuck's his
Vane
name?
or
It's not
Thane?
Thrawn. Thane, thank you. I was
Is
like,
it,
it's
is
a
it Thane?
th-
Okay. Because I can
I
never
think
remember
it's
it's
Thane.
Vane or Thane, but I think it's Thane.
But Thane calls him and he's like, "Yeah, there was a speeder coming your way, but we took care of it." And then it shows up and it's just Wim, so you're like, "Oh shit, Wim's dad got killed." Maybe,
Nah.
obviously not. But like, so Wim comes out and he's got this. He's like, "Hey, got a walkie-talkie. Called the X-wings.
Yeah.
You're in trouble now, buddy." And I just love him making up his story. And Fern, this goes right back to the first episode with her making up shit just to goof people.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we got past the barrier because we have the crystal of the founders that we found on the mountain in the north, whatever, and the Jedi army is going to come and get you.
I think it's an Easter egg that's not Star Wars. It
I
feels.
think it's his story from his little flip book.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, it could be because there is like a crystal thing in there.
Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Whitney, this is why she's here. This is why Whitney's on the Star Wars podcast. The chick that doesn't even like Star Wars that much is just picking out details.
I just love my voice.
He clearly knows that this is. He's like, you got to work on your fucking story, dude. But meanwhile, Wendell snuck out of the elevator and he's over there tip tapping away, turning on the power. And he does get the power on, but then they all get taken hostage again
because it makes noises.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw we didn't talk exactly about it, but like Jod was able to deflect the blaster, the stun bolts from the droids, like 3 or 4 maybe, right?
Yeah.
So I think he didn't have the training with a lightsaber, but he's could be strong in the Force. Like he could be some sort of savant or natural, if you will.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did get some little, like, who knows what this Jedi taught him and for how long. Like, maybe she did.
Well, for her to recognize him, he had to be some sort of strong.
Yeah. But, like, maybe she just did bare necessities. Like, when this happens, you're going to want to bare necessities. Like, give him, what is the word I'm looking for? But, like, a quick draw of everything.
Just a rundown.
Just a crash course.
Yes, a crash course.
Cliff notes.
Even better.
But like it's Jod who's like, dude, like the crystal of the founders and stuff, he's already like, but as soon as he says Jedi army, he's like, dude, the Jedi are dead.
Yeah, now you really need to work on your story. I was there. You have to explain it to me. I was molded by Order 66.
I love when KB gets away and her parents call her and they're like, are you flying that ship? And she's like, yeah, I've got a little help. And Smee is here.
Yes.
I did watch in the flashback because we didn't make it to that episode, the previously on, when he cut off Smee's head. I was like, oh, that cable's still there. Because he cut through like the thing that's holding it, but he didn't cut through the cable that's connecting the body to the head.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
I didn't notice
like
that
the head fell, but it didn't fall off completely. Like the whole body crumpled and the
spinal cord is still attached.
Spinal cord was still attached.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not paralyzed. He's just, his neck hurts.
Yeah, it's a little sore. Well, he has no neck, so.
Yeah, but Neil does get to use the big gun because the frigate's about to take out the Onyx Cinder.
Yeah,
and he blasts at least one of their big guns.
Did we miss it with Wendell being impressed by the ship? He's like, you can actually fly this? Like, it was Wendell that said it as well.
Yeah, when they were on the ship, he's like, you kids know how to fly this thing? And they're like, yeah, no big deal.
That is awesome.
Yeah. No,
He's like, I can turn on my car that's on a track.
Yeah. I know that.
By the end of this episode, I loved Wendell.
Okay, I was gonna say, I know Whitney didn't like him at first, but I mean, like, they're doing a really good job of just showing his progression of like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's a good progression of, my kids can do stuff. They're fucking awesome. My kids are flying a spaceship. I can't do that.
Yeah. So they do get out of the barrier. She's able to call Kimima for help. And she's like, can you send your friends with the X-Wings? Like they're just dudes flying around in X-Wings.
Yeah.
She's like, X-Wings, dude, I'm going to send the whole New Republic.
Yep,
it's like a biker gang.
Everybody to help you.
So what's the ship?
X-Men, X-Wing 97.
The one that Wim is staring at the end. It's the same ship that Princess Leia's flying.
Yeah,
or she's on.
Tentative 4.
Okay, because there's one of those that comes in.
It's hers. I would. She's not the only one to have one of these, but this is the most. She's the most predominant. Like when you see this ship, you think of Leia. That's not an accident. She'd be alive here.
Okay. Like how close to Rogue One is this?
This is so Rogue One is right before Episode 4, so this is still.
So
not Rogue One.
19 years. This is 9 years after Episode 4, because Star Wars New Hope is 0 BBY. This is 9 years after that.
Okay.
So
Thank you for
Leia's
putting that
Leia's
into-
Leia's
And
young.
Leia's still around
Ish.
in
She doesn't know she has a brother yet, right?
She doesn't die.
No, she
until
does. This
Last
is
Jedi,
after-
Okay.
So.
Sorry, this is right after, not right after, but this is after episode 6. Emperor's dead. Darth is dead.
Okay.
Luke and Leia know that they're brother and sister. There's books
Okay.
actually where Leia has a hard time in the Senate once it comes out that she's Vader's dad. Because think
Daughter.
about that. Or sorry, she's Vader's dad. Like, it was a really weird thing. The Senate could not wrap their brains around it. I can't either.
Understood.
No,
It's
but
a
when
crazy
it came out that
storyline.
Vader was her dad, it was, I mean, just imagine that being like, oh, the rebellion was fought by Vader's fucking daughter. We can't really trust her. Like, imagine Hitler's daughter coming out. You're like, ooh, got a fucking weird taste in my mouth about that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a I can't remember what book it is, but it's not Aftermath. But anyway, it's a fun fucking read that it tackles something you never really think about when you watch that original trilogy of afterwards. You'd be like, oh my God, you guys are Vader's fucking kids? Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, because it's one of those things. A lot of the Star Wars books tackle stuff that you don't think about in that way, because it's one of those things where, like, watching the movie, you're hanging out with the heroes,
Mhm.
and the people who are working with the heroes know that they're heroes. So all the people that were working with her in the rebellion and all that stuff, Mon Mothma, the guy with the mustache, all those people, like,
Who's the guy with the mustache?
I don't know, there's a guy with a mustache. We just recorded Rogue One.
Is
and
it
there's a
the-
guy with
is
a
it the
mustache.
beard?
Maybe it was a beard, a great big bushy beard.
A great that's
For
Jan
the greater
Dodonna, if it is.
Oh, it's a real person.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean.
It's,
but,
they're
like,
all real
all-
people to me.
But, like, all those people know she's good, but the general public and the rest of the
Bureaucrats.
Senate and all that stuff are like, oh, excuse the fuck out of me.
And especially because we see like the fucking galactic remnant is just peppered in. These bureaucrats, they either don't care who's in charge as long as they're making money, or a lot of them prefer the fucking the emperor, because like they were still in control of the empire, but they were able to kind of, the emperor was more lenient with human rights violations or
It makes
life
it
violations.
makes
Life
products.
violations.
It makes products cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Make the fucking empire great again. Oh, sorry, good again.
Good again.
You know, when someone wants
Go
to
to
start,
our merch, dude.
yeah, go to our merch. Go to badmoviesworstpeople.com, because I don't think I have a link on Han Took Shots First yet, because there's only one piece of merch for Han. But go there, click the merch link. We have a really sweet red hat for no reason that says "Make the Empire Good Again."
There's
No
little
reason.
political affiliation.
Well, because politics are not a part of Star Wars, and
Not
you
at
should keep them
all.
out.
If you can leave it out, please do. I'd appreciate it.
But so KB gets shot down. And
She's dead.
The ship goes down, and there's no explosion, and the kids lose their shit. I mean, Whitney was very moved.
Dude,
I was gonna
Fern's-
say Fern's scream got me a little, where I even thought I was like,
Tears.
Whitney might be crying.
I would her scream alone, because
Yeah.
I knew there was no explosion. I saw poof. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they landed safely. But the way Fern screamed, I was like,
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't have any thought that she was dead, but I was like, oh man, they're playing it really well. Like, even the parents were doing a good job. Fern is, for a young actress, is very good at what she does.
she is good at what she does.
Has some range and depth at least.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a fight in the supervisor's tower. Jod like force pushes the dad away. There's a whole back and forth thing. He's got this lightsaber to Wendell's throat.
Yeah, he does.
And people
Let
keep
him
trying to
die.
go, because they're like, fuck it, we're gonna pull this barrier, let the New Republic in. And we're already fucked. What good is it to keep
New
the barrier?
Republican. That sounds like a fucking Steve Carell book.
But,
Wait,
like-
sorry, Colbert.
I don't know, either one of them
Yeah.
probably. But like, it's a lot of back and forth of like pulling the lightsaber away and doing this, doing that, pushing people. At one point though, like, he gets distracted. He's trying to stop Jod, that being he, is trying to stop Wendell from opening the barrier, so he's not paying attention. And
Because the kids realize, like, I think it's Fern. She's like, oh shit, that fucking switch right there. The
Yeah.
switch that he wanted to pull that we said no to, it's right there. That's our fucking key.
And she's just like, Fern's begging her mom to help.
Yeah.
And she even says at one point, she's like, Mom, you have to fucking listen to me. And the mom's like, what's the plan? Because it is that type of movie, and it's good. It's good to see the parents, you know, trust your kids. Like, all right, you did just
I trust my
live.
kid.
Basically, like, Carrie Condon comes up, pulls the switch. This is where we get the line that I think is from Hook, by the way.
Sorry, during the fight, did you notice Wim double checked the lightsaber which way it came out?
Good.
Yeah,
I did.
well,
I missed that, but yes.
I think that's right after this, because it's when he's distracted by the thing opening that Wendell punches him in the fucking face.
No,
and
Yeah.
knocks the lightsaber out of his hand.
It's Wim and oh, is it? Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
So yeah,
But
Wendell gets
that is cool. Wendell punches him right in the fucking face,
Mhm.
and he's like, you know, he
So-
stands up and does something.
So give me
But
the
there's
Hook
the
line,
line.
though.
Yeah, it's right before all this stuff, right before they open the thing, and Jod says, "No one's coming to save you, boy." And I'm almost 100% sure, because that's when they're talking in Hook.
yeah,
about
he's
how,
not
like,
coming to save
Yeah, my dad's gonna come save us. He's like, "No one's coming to save you, boy."
Yeah.
you.
I mean, it would make sense, like, just to throw a little fucking piratey in there. A really
Yeah.
good
And
pirate line.
He does follow it up with, "No one's coming to save you, boy. Grow up."
Yeah.
Which would fit right into Hook as well. I don't think it's a word for word line, but it's definitely a Dustin Hoffman, like, he's not coming to save you, you know?
Yeah. And again, we were right about Jod's backstory. I mean, we pitched a lot, but he didn't have he had a really rough, starving for scraps childhood. And that's why he's like, grow the fuck up, dude. But when I was your age, I already gotten divorced.
Right. I had already worked in the mines.
Yeah.
But the barrier does get opened. Wim has the lightsaber now. And, there is that moment during the struggle where Jod's trying to pull the lightsaber. That's when she's able to open it, by the way, because they distract him. Because he's trying to pull the lightsaber from Wim.
That's what
Fern
I thought.
and Wim are both holding onto it. It all happens very quickly. So
I know.
Around.
And we just
But-
fucking watched it. Like, we didn't have a chance to rewatch anything. It's fresh, but not that.
Yeah.
But they were pulling on it. He was pulling on it with the force, and they were trying to pull back. And I was just like,
You saw Wendell's fingers going like,
Wait,
yeah, he
hold
was
on.
cracking. That's a different thing, though. That's
I
right
want to hear
before
what
that.
Derek was about to say.
Oh, sorry.
I was just like, turn that fucking thing on and let it go.
Yes, that's what I was. I was like, I know it's a kids movie, so maybe don't kill him with it. But like, I thought for sure they're gonna light it and they're gonna fucking ignite it and they're gonna send it and it's gonna just hit him in his gut and he's gonna be like, bother.
Cut off his fucking legs, and so if there's a season 2, now he's a real pirate.
Cut off his fucking hand or his arm. We love that in
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I texted Jack while we were rewatching, because we didn't mention back in the very first episode when Wim and Neil are having their fake little lightsaber battle before they get on the bus, and Neil fake cuts off Wim's arm. He's like, "Oh, my arm!" I was like, "Did we talk about that?" Because that's some Star Wars shit.
I mean, it's almost. I mean, it could be any of the big Star Wars duels. There was someone loses an arm.
Yeah. After they open the thing, Jod's looking around like, "Well, fuck," and Wim has the lightsaber.
Well,
and he does
fuck.
get to ignite it. He does get to ignite it. He doesn't use it, obviously, but he gets to ignite it and stare him down and have his badass like Jedi moment for a child.
Yeah. And then
And the New Republic comes in and fucking cleans. Well, I was gonna say cleans
Decimates.
this up. They decimate everybody. I think they leave before they clean anything up. They're like, "Well, we shot down the pirate ship. That's
Well,
your
no.
problem now."
'cause
Hopefully,
that's
there's
when
no survivors.
That's when Leia's ship. That's when Wim is looking at Leia's ship, like coming
Yeah.
down.
So,
So,
okay.
second season would have.
I
that
think the big
aftermath.
thing we need to focus on of Wim looking at was the X-Wings. We could, again, Acolyte got canceled. I hope we get some more Manny Jacinto playing Khmer. We don't need the Acolyte
Yes.
series to come back. We may not get Skeleton Crew, but any of these future movies could have an older version of Wim, whether he's a Jedi or not, be at least an X-Wing pilot, be a Ranger of the New Republic.
He 1,000% wants to be an X-wing pilot.
He wants to leave. Nothing makes more sense than leaving hometown to him. This is a small town kid, where you hear these stories or movies where it's like, oh, they got a perfect life on the farm. Why go anywhere else? Because I want to be somebody. I'm going to make it in this world. You see, that's Wim. He wants to go have an adventure
Yeah, he does.
or
He's
sing
tired
on
of-
Broadway.
He's tired of being a small town boy, born and raised in South At Attin. But yeah, they do go to find KB, make sure she's okay. And I just love like when the ship is hanging out of this building, but when it opens, just thousands of credits come pouring out, and then it's just her body on top.
Like rolling.
And this
on
looks a lot better. We complained about the like liquidity of the credits in that last episode when they were pouring over Jod's head. This looks, there's nothing in this episode I don't think that looked especially bad. I think the dad, Wendell and Wim on the river
is the weakest.
Was the weakest, and it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have anything to complain about. Like if you paid me to nitpick, which you guys can pay us, if you paid me to nitpick, I would pick that scene. But other than that, dude, like it's good enough. It's fast enough. It's
and gosh darn it,
doggone it, people like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I want
just,
some more of it.
I like when it wraps up and they're like, well, Wim, at least you don't have to take the assessments anymore. And he's watching the Republic ships and his dad keeps yelling, Wim, Wim, Wim.
Alvin!
Exactly.
Yo, he just wants to bounce now and get on that ship and be like, all right, how can I help?
Yeah.
And then we end with triumphant music.
Yep.
That's what the subtitles say.
There's no other person it could be besides Leia. You don't put that ship in here just as a member.
Well, in
like a
Rogue
member
One,
berry.
we saw a couple of them, but it would make sense if it was Leia coming down.
We saw more in Rogue One.
I want to say when at the end, when all the shit's going down and like there's, all the people are trying to get out of there and they've got the information, the ships are just scattering. There was a couple of them.
One of them was Leia's.
Well, one of them ended up being hers, but the one that's the one that got away with the data.
On that episode,
but I swear there was a couple of them because I remember seeing it and thinking
you could be correct.
Like,
I don't remember them, but you could 100% be correct. I just think, why show this ship in particular? You could show a fucking Mon Calamari cruiser and know that like that's a good guy. There's never been a bad Mon Calamari cruiser. Yeah. There's other ships you could do. You could do the Hammerhead. You could do the Corvette, but you did the tentative 4.
And that's the end of the series. Well, the season. Hopefully not the series.
I hope that was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. But that is the end of this tale, as it were.
And they did wrap mostly wrap up.
I mean, the only thing we don't have wrapped up is Jod is left in the supervisor's tower. And they even call for him. Like when the ship is going down, they're like, Jod, come. Like,
he did have, we were wrong about it, but we were right, where he had a moment of the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. We thought it was going to be treasure in one hand, kids in the other. It was lightsaber in one hand, shut off switch in the other. Still there, though.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, he didn't get his redemption arc, but I think by the time you've let a pirate force in to take over like the most peaceful planet in the galaxy, you're not getting your redemption arc in that episode, at least. Maybe next season.
But it did do a good job of making me still feel for him. When he's just like, dude, all I remember is fucking being starving. I just never wanted to be starving. Then he tells the heartbreaking story. Yeah, he's over and over. I don't want to hurt anyone.
He's like, stop fucking around because I don't want to have to hurt you. That's not why I'm here. I just want money.
And maybe he would have hurt him. Like when I said in previous episode that he wouldn't have cut up Fern, maybe he would have. He just genuinely does not want to.
He does do a lot of like shoot near people and threaten people without actually, like Fern tries to take the gun from the droid at one point and he shoots the droid and he's like, don't do that again. Like a pirate would have just killed her.
Yeah.
Well, and even
any bad person would.
Even at this fucking ending, it's what, 2 adults, 2 kids. They have a lightsaber with no training or force powers, and he has a gun. He still can win this fight. He's just like, I shot my shot.
Yeah.
And it missed big time. So
I was saying he should have just like loaded up his ship and left and not tried to be.
Well, his ship is crashed.
Well, no, loaded up the Onyx.
The Onyx is crashed.
No, loaded that up and left.
Before.
Oh, beforehand. Oh, okay.
Anything. Because if he had done that, then because he could have.
Yes,
easily have just been like, load up, let's go. All right.
And he was so fucking rich. They don't want to let the pirates in. Cool. Take the Onyx Cinder up, unload it into the frigate, go back down and get more, and then when those pirates leave him behind, well, now he's only got a ship full of fucking credits.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey,
credits
greed.
which are worth way more than regular credits. I mean, again,
Wow.
we rewatched it, and it's just funny in that first episode when Wendell slaps down a pile of credits, and he's like, "There's your lunch money for the week."
Here's
And
like
then
one
we
a day.
shortly find out that like this is worth so fucking much. One of
This
these
is-
things could buy and sell people.
yeah, this is like $1 million. Here's $1 million worth of gold for lunch. Have fun,
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
But so since it's the end of the season, we will do lightsaber ratings. And for those who may be new or don't remember, because it's been 8 weeks at least since we did this, we do a 5 lightsaber system with Yoda sabers being half and Khmer sabers being a quarter. So we'll start with our guest.
Oh, I get to go first?
You
KB
have to.
rocks.
KB rocks, dude.
She
All
does.
right. I'm doing 4.
4?
4.
Okay.
I
Okay.
really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was a lot of fun. There's very little I nitpicked on. But I know some of it was for like character development and yada yada yada. But I wasn't as annoyed as I was with Acolyte with the drip feeding and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that they come with a second season. Like they did a good job kind of wrapping this up for you, but I really hope we get a second season.
Can
of
I
this.
ask this? What would make it 5? Just off the top of your
Everything
head. You
can
don't have to
have
get too in
improvement.
depth, but
I don't know. I want to know more about Tack.
there we go.
Like that storyline dropped fast.
Like maybe
Yeah.
if we knew there was a second season coming, this could be a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, go first for you if you don't mind, because I probably have a lot to
Um,
say.
I'm going to go. I've been bouncing back and forth thinking about it. I'm going to say like 4 and a Yoda. So
Okay,
4.5.
4.5.
It's pretty high. This is in the top of the things that Disney has done with the property. This is in the top of the things that have happened since the original trilogy, in my opinion. I think it's great storytelling. I think, it's good acting all around. I mean, and I did not expect that with a show that's primarily cast with children.
Mm-hmm.
I was really into it, but I think the places it could improve are like some of the effects, obviously, but that's a Disney problem. You see it in Marvel too. They do this fucking previs bullshit where it's like that's already created, so now you have to make your show or movie match what we already created.
We did get some good volume shots, especially when the pirates are on their little like boarding skiffs kind of thing where they're landing. You can tell that's volume. I mean, that actually looks good for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it mostly looked good. There's just some stuff that could be improved.
For sure. For sure.
Disney just needs to improve as a whole so they stop canceling things I want to
Yeah,
watch.
please stop canceling things.
Don't become the sci-fi network of 2020s.
Yep.
Just canceling. Hey, we finally made something good. Canceled.
You know what you're going to do is you're going to lose the fans like us that are actually, we talked about the people that are done because of all the weakness they've gotten or the what they don't like. You're going to kill the fans that are watching because we know you're going to fucking cancel it.
Yeah.
There's no point in watching it and
I
falling in love with these
understand-
characters.
Well, I understand that each episode costs $150 million or whatever. That's
Figure a
insane.
different way out.
Yeah, figure out your shit first of all, because that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah,
I've seen things with
what's
just
Tom
as good as
Savini
special
doing?
effects. Yeah, what's Tom Savini
What's
doing?
Tom
Indeed?
Bring blood back to Star Wars. Dude.
You need a werewolf, man? Tom Savini's got you.
Oh my
Yeah, he
God.
does.
Why wasn't Tom Savini involved in Brutus, you motherfuckers?
Maybe I would have
But-
hated Brutus so much.
It's just I don't know. It's the Disney as a whole that's kind of brings it down a little bit because I'm already going, okay, cool, this was fun, but is it just a thing that it's a watch it that I'm never gonna have to think about again because it has nothing to do with anything? And I mean, everything doesn't need to be connected. But if you're building, you have a Star Wars universe. All the movies and shows are connected in some way. So just to have a watch it story that could be connected to something, and it doesn't need to start involving Skywalkers and all that stuff, but it could be a part of the larger universe. And
I mean, we're moving away from Skywalker to a degree thanks to the movies, and this is a perfect way to do it. Have them join, like I said, Rangers New Republic. Have them visit Ahsoka, Mandoverse. We can do Star Wars universe without the Skywalkers. We could do both.
Yeah.
We can have multiple stories in a
What's-
galaxy far, far away, people.
it's almost as if an entire galaxy was inhabited by a lot of people who have a lot of different stories.
Why is everybody over the Skywalker thing.
It didn't wrap up well. That's
and-
one of the biggest things is you really fucked up your dismount, but also it got worn out. It got played out. We don't need everyone in the galaxy to be related. I thought about this a little bit with At Attin. This is a city on one planet. What's the rest of the planet? Probably barren. Probably like fucking Koopa Town or
That's what I think about
Meyer Brothers.
Most of Star Wars, like these planets they go to, it's just this one little area they go to.
I mean, kind of. I mean, because even like Tatooine has multiple ports, but it's like it's Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, and I think there's another one. But they're basically the same city, and they're not that far apart from each other.
And when you hear of Alderaan, it's always just the one big fucking capital of Alderaan. But maybe it's me reading too much into it, and they just didn't have the thought of that. But
I do rate this very high. I'm going to say 4.5. I think it's really, really good. That's it. So.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4 and a Khmer. Like I was just like Derek vacillating back and forth. The big thing is the mystery was always funner than what they gave us. It was good. I'm not complaining about the ending. I'm not complaining about the dismount, but there was just this kind of at the end for me, just like, okay, that does make sense. But again, this has some of the funner sets and some of the funnest aliens that we've seen on a Star Wars shit.
Were a lot. Yeah.
And they did a really good job of using practical effects with filters of CGI instead of just purely CGI. Brutus had no business looking as decent as he did in my mind. Shmi had no business looking as terrifying as he did, but they fucking did it. Shmi, by the way, here's the reason it's not 5 fucking stars. He's barely in the last episode. I want
He's
much more.
In the last 3.
Yeah, I want so much more Shmi. I want so much more Nick fucking Frost voicing him. They did so great with it. If we can, like, I don't want to echo everything we just said, but like, just if we can plug them in, we have ways of putting them in a bigger universe and keeping these characters. If 3 years from now this films, these kids are all older. Now we have a different story and keep it going. In my opinion,
now they can really go travel.
The things that I think Whitney said it best. The things that make me not give it a 5-star, like the Tacronod, you set up such a mystery there, and I know we made a mystery of Wim's mom. They didn't. But there's such a mystery of Tacronod that we're not going to ever get. But, man, I want another season so bad.
It's so bad.
It was great start. Derek even said this, and yeah, dude, it's the best. It was some of the best storytelling that Disney has done with Star Wars. Sure, Andor is much better. It's a different thing. Rogue One, different thing. But this is so goddamn fun. I'm looking forward to rewatching top to bottom, front to back.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's it.
Well,
come back, guys, in 2 weeks. We don't have video, but we do have a honker of an episode, if that's the correct term, for Rogue One. As we continue, we resume our regular coverage of Star Wars continuously, front to back here.
And we have 2 guests on that episode, right?
Yeah, we have 2 guests.
You guys have 2 guests.
It gets opinionated.
We have our friend Brandon, who has been on Bad Movies Worst People before on Super Mario Brothers. It's a me, Osama. And we have our friend the Classy Alcoholic, who was on Bad Movies Worst People, and you guys heard him on the last episode of Andor.
Makes sense. He's on Rogue One.
12. Yeah. And yeah, it gets opinionated, and
I sat right there.
I was hoping to have that episode out basically at the same time that this episode posted for the patrons, because it comes out in 2 weeks for regular folk. But if you're on Patreon, you get stuff early. But
usually
that is a thing to edit. So, because we went for a very long time and I'm trying to make it reasonable. But just remember, if you are a patron at patreon.com/worstpeople, it's $3 a month. You get bonus episodes for Bad Movies Worst People, but you get the Hot Trick Shots first episodes early. Basically, the second I'm done editing them, they become available to you.
Also, you can communicate with us and talk to us, and we respond back.
Yeah. I always respond back. You know who else responds back?
Oh,
look, I did a lot of work on this thing. It was coming back for this episode.
And you only put it twice.
Oh, it's so good, though.
It's so good.
Oh, I think I found my next tattoo. That's a whole
The Judge
back
Reinhold
piece.
part.
All of it. That's the entire back piece.
You're gonna need a better, higher res image than that, because that is the best I could find was like a 300 by fucking 500 image for that poster.
I almost think it's super fitting. We've never actually seen that movie. It's just like we're getting the most joy out of a movie we've never seen.
We haven't. Oh, because it's a fake movie.
No, it's
we started. I turned it on. No, this is a fake movie. Runaway Speeder is a fake movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runaway Car is a real movie. I did turn it on New Year's Eve, but we were at the bar. And
Oh.
it looked pretty fucking cool, so I turned it back off. But of course, we have to thank Magilla Gorilla for supplying our opening and closing music to us, because it's a fucking banger.
Oh yeah, it's got
Golf
lyrics
clap.
and everything.
Yep.
Golf clap.
So that's it for Skeleton Crew, and for this week. We'll see you guys in 2 more weeks. I've been Derek.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Whitney.
Triumphant music.
Call me Face Windu.